Hello, my name is Pat Bose and welcome to SCAN. SCAN stands for Social Community Activities Network, and we have been providing services in Monmouth and Ocean counties for the last 27 years. It is my pleasure to introduce Jackie Rohan, Executive Director of Ocean County Office of Senior Services, and I'm really pleased that she's a guest here. I've been working with her for many years, and she brings a lot of great information to the table and also experience. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you really were able to come here and talk to us about what you do. So, but before we talk about the services you provide and talk about Ocean County, which is the second largest senior population in the country.
That's us.
That's you. Tell us how you come to the table in regards to your background.
Well, I'm a relatively new director of the office. I started in June of 2014. I feel that working there the 15 years before, though, well prepared me for the job. I often like to talk about, Jen, I would like to for a moment, when I was a young graduate student in New York City, and I had to go and visit the first senior community in the state of New York at the time. And when I went there, I said to who would later be my future husband, I said to him, how's this going to work? Everybody's 55 plus, and won't they later become 65 plus and 75 all together? See, I grew up in the Bronx, and we had a multiple age group growing up, and we were the ones who helped our older neighbors and friends. So I couldn't figure out how it would work. Well, about 6 months into my job at Ocean County, I was doing a presentation, and a woman in the back was waving at me, and I said, "What? What's the matter?" She said, "That community is no longer a senior community." She said the county couldn't sustain the services that were needed for that many people in that location. And I always feel grateful that I'm at Ocean County, where that's certainly not an issue. We have 92 adult communities, and we're taking care of it.
I know, again, we're getting a lot more familiar with your communities here from SCAN, because we're getting lots of phone calls asking us to come in and do some programming for them, and we're thrilled about doing that. So we're excited that we're going to be coming to Ocean a lot more in 2016. So
Great.
Anyway, describe the Office of Senior Services in Ocean County, and what does it do? How does it do it? Who does it do it for?
Okay, so our offices are located conveniently by a mall, by the way, and at that office we have 14 staff members and myself who handle the information assistance side, as well as applications for financial assistance, a number of other things. We took 2 of our workers and put them in our Ocean County Mall because we found that from those adult communities, so many people do take the little mini buses or other forms of travel into our mall. So that service is available at the mall between 9 and 5, and it helps quite a bit.
And that's called what?
That's the County Connection.
Okay.
And at that same location, we have the county clerk, we have the surrogate's office, 2 days a week, the veterans are there. A variety of services rotate through that office.
So you're taking your services on the road, just like SCAN, as far as SCAN on Wheels, so that's exciting.
And we actually do have a mobile vehicle from the County Connection that goes out to the villages and brings the same type of information out. And about 4 years ago, we opened a similar setting down at our Southern Ocean Service Center so that people don't have to travel from Manahawkin all the way to Toms River.
Perfect. So the other, what type of information and assistance is available to people, and how do they access that?
Okay, so our primary calls seem to be for information about meals, transportation, housing, and any type of financial assistance. And what we're finding, Pat, is that if somebody calls in and they need assistance, say, with drugs, and we tell them a little bit about PAAD, we need to be following up with, and how is it with utilities? And how are you doing for other types of assistance? Because if a person's having trouble with one thing, they really should know about the other eligibilities that are out there. So we're working to try to surround people with as much information as we can.
So can we talk a little more about those kind of benefits? Because I'm not sure if a lot of the people in our audience know what PAAD is.
Okay, so PAAD is pharmaceutical assistance for the aged and disabled. New Jersey's quite unique in this. There's not a number of states that have state assistance programs. We have 2 in New Jersey. We actually have PAAD and something called Senior Gold. Depending on income eligibility, people can sign up for either program. It helps them a great deal with their Medicare Part D, so that's it's a good blend, state and federal government.
And I want to stay on benefits for a little bit. So
Okay.
I know that the push is to, when someone is being screened for PAAD, to see if they're eligible for other kinds of programs. And I think that the application for PAAD might become a universal application in the future, so that once you have that information, the senior or the client doesn't have to go through the conversation over and over and over again. Is that true? And how do you think that'll work?
I think it's getting better every day. PAAD always screened for something called Lifeline, which is an energy assistance that you're eligible for. It will soon, I think it's in draft form, but out there, screen for SLIMB, which will help pay for Medicare Part B. Lots of people hesitate, Pat, I think, to ask for financial assistance. I think the generation that we are working with has a tremendous amount of pride about not only am I eligible, but maybe the dollar should go to someone who needs it more than I do. And we see a lot of that even when we talk about veterans assistance, because people say, well, why don't you give it to the Iraqi and Afghani vets that are coming back? And as you know, we can't. The dollars are in war periods. So when I'm talking to a Korean vet, I have to convince him that these dollars are for him and his spouse, as opposed to passing them forward.
So I find that really interesting because this is the first time that we're really dealing with social services or with the whole screening application through some of our community partners. We don't do that per se, but we've been bringing like food bank into some of the facilities that we're going to, and they're doing the screening for SNAP, which is formerly known as food stamps, and then all of the other eligibility, but how we're positioning it so that we can kind of get past that I don't need it conversation, is that we put it under financial literacy.
Oh, that's a great approach.
So what we're talking about is not so much getting ready to retire, because these people have been retired for a long period of time, but within the income that you have, how can you save money or better use the money or the process and the applications that are available to you? And it seems to take away that stigma. And we have a lot of people sitting down with counselors saying, so here's my information, am I eligible for anything? And what we're doing now is quantifying all of the savings that they might benefit from, so that we can tell a better story.
One of the things that I think contributes to what you're talking about is that at times people who are doing eligibility determinations say things like, you make too much money. What I like to talk about is the Elder Economic Index, which is out for each of the counties, that tells you exactly what it costs to live in your county. And in support of that, they immediately say, as you just did, what are the savings for you? How do you offset that perhaps this is a high income level that you need to live here? But in fact, if you had this assistance, it brings you closer. And if I could get people to never say, you make too much money, because frankly, that's not the issue.
Yeah. And so I'm excited because, again, we don't usually do those conversations, but it's really working for us a lot. So how is service delivered?
Well, we follow, as do most counties, the structure of the Older Americans Act, which asks us to look at home supports, community supports, nutritional supports, and more recently, caregiver supports. So what does that mean? We have clients who are in the home in Ocean County. They're not getting out much. They may have a friendly visitor or a friendly phone call coming in. In community-based initiatives, we may be doing some recreational programs at some of our senior centers. When we talk about nutrition, it is the largest amount of both the Older Americans Act budget and our budget in Ocean County. If the end of the year figures mean anything from 2015, we will be doing 1,000 meals a day. We will have done 1,000 meals a day for our home delivered meals, and we're doing an additional 300 meals on weekends. So we know that is a big part of keeping an eye on the seniors that are homebound, perhaps don't have family in the area, and really need that basic service. Two things though, the meal comes in and so does the driver. And our drivers through both of our providers are amazing, and they'll call us if somebody doesn't look the way they did the last time they were there.
And that's been a hot issue in our world of aging, as far as people getting their meals through the mail versus door delivery.
Big issue.
Big issue. And so, I mean, understandably, as far as being cost efficient in some respects, but also really losing that contact. I don't know if you can put a price on that.
And also the awareness that not everybody can open a meal and work with a microwave. And so some of the things that are mail would work for some folks. I wouldn't mind having a meal mailed to me once in a while. But I think the idea of being able to open a microwavable meal to actually, if it's one of our clients who has memory loss issues, may not even have any sense of having ever used a microwave. I love the personal contact. Over the years, I've had people call and say, this woman always comes to the door, nicely dressed. She's in her pajamas today. I'm a little worried. And having sent a social worker out, I was really glad it was that driver who didn't say, oh, she's just having a bad day.
Yeah.
In fact, she was having a terrible day.
Yeah, again, in the beginning of my career, I used to run Meals on Wheels programs in Greenwich Village. And so we had lots of walk-ups.
Oh, yeah.
But we served almost 1,000 meals in a very small geographic location because the need was so great. And yeah, I don't know what we would have done if our drivers weren't compassionate and, again, our eyes and ears. So yeah, I think that the system works, and so we shouldn't think that it's broken.
Don't mess with it, yeah.
Right.
Don't mess with success.
So the other kind of programs, I know that transportation is a challenge for everybody, and not, I mean, for funders, for counties, but also for participants because they become isolated and are not able to get out. So how is that handled in Ocean?
Well, we do have a wonderful transportation system throughout the county called Ocean Ride, but each of our providers that work on the home and community support grants have their own system. For example, some of the outreach centers do take people food shopping. Others take them in a little van to a more social event. This morning I was reading the narratives. We get a narrative from every contract that we issue. We have 42 contracts, and they were talking about taking people to Walmart or taking them, out to lunch somewhere. And I think that it seems like there's never enough. I mean, I grew up in the Bronx. You would put your finger up and the bus would stop. We don't have that here. We have fixed routes, and we have people have to really be a little more organized about where they're going and what they're going to do. But these additional services, I think, make a difference. We also have a huge volunteer corps in Ocean County under our interfaith initiatives. We have a Southern initiative and a Northern initiative, and they do all those things that nobody can do. Like sometimes they'll take someone to church, or they'll do a little exceptional thing, only limited really by what volunteers are able to do. It's a great program.
Yeah, I just, recently, meaning last year, learned about them and, working with their executive director, because I do know they would like to expand into Monmouth County, so I've been an advocate for them. Yeah. But maybe you can just explain a little more what they do, because it's a very unique, needed service, and it's the future.
Well, it is the future, because as dollars just sort of get stuck and freeze and we can't expect more funding, how will we get all this done at the same time that our population is just growing constantly? So I hear, though, that people get more from it than they give, and I always stress that when I'm talking to people about volunteering. This will do more for your health than it might for the person you're serving. They do a lot of medical transport, a lot. And it's very personal because it's them picking up this one person, whereas, someone else may have a shared ride. They do a lot of that. They do a lot of friendly visiting. And the last thing that both of them do that I think is extraordinary is they have a dementia program where couples are trained to visit couples. So it's like it used to be.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And they will come, husband and wife will come to visit just like it was before there was a problem. They'll have tea, but they've both been trained not to say, is it Friday? Is it Wednesday? Oh, who's the prep? They don't do that. And if they hear something that doesn't sound quite right, that's fine with them because they've been trained to understand to move on. The wife might go food shopping, and the husband have that opportunity to watch TV or talk about a game or do something else. It's a great program.
So I think that she was telling me that they have about 1,200 volunteers who provide service to 2,000 people in the community, and that's just mind-boggling and just so excited. So I'm really looking forward to having them come to Monmouth, and truly we are doing whatever we can to get them here.
And it is through parishes, it is through getting individual churches involved and individual religions, because people do like to work for their own church, but those churches will serve anyone, which is wonderful. You don't have to be a parishioner of that church or former parishioner. They will serve you because you're an Ocean County resident.
So how does someone get access to the services?
Well, I would say that I'd like people to know that our phone number is, when we're not there, there's messages, but you want to be calling 732-929-2091. When you call that line, one of the first things that you want to ask for is our resource directory. It's 72 pages of the things that we know best in Ocean County. And I always think of it as a second phone book, because I don't want people to necessarily have to go through the phone book to find quality services. We've done that work. The second thing I would like people to do is to get involved and call us and give it their address to get a newsletter, which is 5 to 6 times a year, usually surrounding whatever the current issues are. We've spent a lot of time this year in advocacy for Medicare and Social Security, and of course the Older Americans Act being reenacted. And the final piece is that a person who's computer comfortable, and there's more and more of us out there who prefer this.
Yes, I do know that. For
families who maybe are struggling a little bit with what's going on in the community, because for our community, Pat, most of the families do not live there. Many of them, people have moved to us from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So they can get into our website, and we have a little blurb of how to do that called Navigating the Website. So they have the mall, they have the Southern Service Center, they have our main office, and they have these 3 particular information sites that we'd be glad to share with them.
Perfect. So now that we know what services you provide, how they are delivered, how someone can access it, how are they funded?
So we talked quickly about the Older Americans Act. That is the sort of the federal start point. The states then do a match to that, and then the counties come on board. And I want to stress that Ocean County has been a tremendous support to me in this very short period. For example, as I ended my first year, there were a few dollars because I was making less than my predecessor, and the next person made less than me, and we had some dollars that were available in our budget. When I went to them and talked to them about it, they asked me what the meal program needed, and we bought 2 new vehicles to get our meals out. And then since I had their ear, I thought, well, let me mention that we also have a wait list, so it isn't just the vehicles. And Ocean County gave an additional $250,000 to meals, and it happened again in 2015. So I think that support, you will see as time goes on, is going to be counties stepping further and further up to the plate as the federal and state just are frozen in the dollars they can send us.
Yeah, and I kudos to you and your county for doing that, because I know that it's really, really important. And their money is used so appropriately and for lots of people.
Yes.
So the other is, is there an age requirement in regards to being eligible for most of these services or all of them?
Older Americans Act drives the age requirement for the Office of Senior Services in the sense of 60 and above. But over the past 10 years, because of our activities with the state and health insurance program, we found that we were seeing lots and lots of younger clients, and that was fine because they were coming for Medicare-related services. And then in 2012, the state took those 2 concepts and said, you know what about the younger disabled clients? So we do act as an access point. While we don't have specialty services there, we can get them closer to other county services related to disability.
And so that goes to the ADRCs. I mean, I think a lot of people are hearing the alphabet soup.
Yep.
And saying, so what is that? Yeah. So it's aging and disability.
Resource connection. And that's exactly what we service, Pat. While we don't have disability specialists in our office, we do know our colleagues at the county, and we make a special effort to make that connection seamless.
So there's cross-department communication, and that's, I think, we're all thriving
absolutely.
for.
We're actually on site with the Board of Social Services.
Great.
They're right in our parking lot, so we could do a lot of that.
That's perfect. So we have about another minute or so. So any special concerns at this time of the year or going forward?
I would just say that if people think, gee, I wonder if I should give them a call, the answer is yes. My biggest concern is when I'm out doing public speaking, people say, where were you 5 years ago when my husband was ill or whatever? I want people to get to know us before that. I think that's a struggle. It's like opening the paper and saying tires are on sale, but you don't need a tire, and a month later you wonder where that sale was. So people have to really find a way to get connected. I think the resource directory is part of that. Get to know us early.
And I know that we've been working with you because we do some public education classes at the Boscoff department store at the mall. Mm-hmm. And so I know that you had a big showing at our last session. So we will continue to offer that opportunity to you so that the general public can learn about it. So last minute, what's your phone number again?
732-929-2091.
And your website?
It's www.co.ocean.gov. scan.nj.us, you will see the county government, and you'll see a bunch of smiling faces to the right where it says Senior Services. That's us.
So I want to thank you for your time and for this
Thank you.
fabulous information. And we'll be right back.
Take it from me. Living with a chronic disease is no easy task, but I learned to better manage my health condition, and you can too. Take Control of Your Health is the chronic disease self-management program created by Stanford University. This fun, innovative course is now offered to all county residents. Diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, cancer. Take Control of Your Health gives proven strategies to manage these conditions and reclaim your life. See how nutrition, exercise, and various mind techniques can help you overcome depression, increase energy, and manage pain. You'll not only get this book when you participate, you'll also receive the guidance and support of others living with a chronic illness, just like you. Take control of your health in 6 short sessions.
Call the number on your screen to register or get further information at scannj.com. Brought to you by SCAN, Social Community Activities Network, with funding made available by the Monmouth County Office on Aging.
Welcome back. My name is Pat Bose, and this is Welcome to SCAN. With me now is Andrea Tarr, who is our program director, and hopefully she's going to be sharing some fabulous news about programming that we're doing in the winter semester. So welcome.
Pat, always good to be here with you.
Thank you.
So here we are in winter, and classes are already underway. But the thing that I want to make sure everyone knows is that even though classes began in January, you can still join a class at any point. We'll prorate it for you. So that's a good thing.
And the other thing I wanted to just add is that we're looking to do more, we're doing more classes this semester, but not necessarily for 13 weeks. So we're having a
Right.
lot of, 2 or 3 sessions, and we're completing.
Right, even though our semester is 13 weeks, not every class goes for 13 weeks. But if you do want to join a 13-week class, we'll prorate.
Sure.
But lots of them, like the TED Talks, which have been very successful. I'm like having a coughing attack.
So I will talk a little bit while you do that.
Thank you.
So TED Talks, we have been doing those for the last couple of months, and we find it to be really very educational and informative. A lot of participation, so we are doing 3 this semester.
We'll do 3 this semester. There is not a bad TED Talk. They're all wonderful. And I tried to pick out something that might be a little on the humorous side, something uplifting. Really? Thank you.
Well, with TED Talks talking about that, we're also going to be doing a lot more technology classes, seeing that a lot of our members might have gotten for the holidays those fabulous electronic tools that I love so much.
Right.
And so that we're going to have specific classes for smartphones, iPads, tablets, and how to use the computer, so that everyone can become proficient in that.
Right.
Now that we're well established
Yes.
and understand the whole process after successfully completing our digital aging mastery program.
Yes, because we don't want your new cell phone or your new technology device to just become an expensive paperweight. We want you to actually learn how to use it.
And this way they can register online going forward for SCAN.
Yes.
And we can do text messages so that they know what's happening, especially during the bad weather. So people need to know that if it is snowing or the weather is not favorable, that they should be calling us before they come out.
Right, because we will get a message on our answering machine by 7:30, 8 o'clock. So if there's any question at all, you should always call the office, and we'll tell you if we're having a delayed opening or if we're going to just be closed for the day.
Absolutely.
And also, because it's February, that means it's the campus of courses for the whole month.
At the
And
Boscov
At
department store.
Boscov's in Monmouth Mall. We'll also have it also in Toms River, but that'll probably be more like in March. In the fall, we had about 750 people come through the door in a month. So it was very, very crazy, but good crazy.
And I hear Boscov loves our numbers.
Yes, they do, because they're getting lots of people in the store, and of course everyone, including me, did lots of shopping.
Which is perfect.
And also, let's remind everyone that a major benefit of being a SCAN member is that when it comes to the campus of courses twice a year, you can take an unlimited amount of classes for free.
And that's a member benefit that we're really pleased
I
to
mean,
offer.
that's just worth the price right there.
Of admission.
It is. It really is. Most of the classes, they're either free or $5. And we have lots of people, lots of our members who, pop into 6, 7, 8 classes, so it's worth it. We have also started out, we're going to be rolling out our diabetes self-management program during the winter.
So I think that the audience needs to understand that we understand that evidence-based programming is the way to go because there's curriculum, it's proven to be successful, and that we have certification in 2 fields, take control of your health and diabetes self-management.
Yes.
And we're hoping to work closely with Monmouth Medical Center on fall prevention.
And we're looking to cultivate more peer leaders. So if anyone has any interest in being a peer leader, they should call us here.
So we can put that into our new intern program. So if people would like to become interns at SCAN,
That's right.
We can help guide them through our peer leader training. They'll get certified. They'll have fun. And they'll be doing a great service, not only for us, but for the people that they'll be training.
That's the bottom line too. You're doing something wonderful to help other people with this sort of thing.
And this is the first year that we will be off-site. We have a satellite now. We have a permanent satellite.
Yes,
we're working
we do.
with the YMCA of Weston Monmouth. Our satellite is at 41 Center Street in Freehold, and it'll be open on Tuesdays to the public.
Right.
And we're inviting everyone to come visit us. We'll have programming going on there every Tuesday, and lunch will be served. Of course, there might be some paperwork that has to go with that, but we are bringing all of our community resources to them. And we were very successful last year, and we're going to continue to provide them good information.
And the community center is doing their very best for us to make it a comfy place to go. And if you want to hang out, if you want to play cards, it'll be a place to meet people, to socialize.
So it's SCAN on Wheels.
SCAN on Wheels.
So I wanted to just take this opportunity to invite all of the public to come visit SCAN, take a tour, try a class free on us to see if you like it. If you're interested in being a teacher, and have skills and topics, please come and let us know. 732-542-1326. Thank you.
How to locate SCAN. SCAN is easy to locate once you find the movie theater at Monmouth Mall. As you enter the parking lot from Route 35, the theater is almost directly ahead of you. Drive towards the theater, but go up along the left side into the parking lot. As you approach the end, you will see entrance number 3 on your right. Park and enter the building here. Once inside, you will see a staircase that only goes down. After passing through the doors at the bottom, turn to your left, and SCAN is right there.